Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Nicole with Real Food, Real Simple and School of Permaculture, and I am here today to show you how amazingly easy it is to make mayonnaise. Now, mayonnaise is one of those products that for me, I really don't like to buy at the store because the oils that they use are highly refined, low quality, and very often rancid before you even get it home. It's really important that the food that we choose to eat reduces our inflammation and not increases it. I want to show you that this is actually really easy. It's something that's often intimidating, and I know I was very intimidated myself when I first started, but I have found a way that is super fast and not intimidating. In fact, so much so that when I was out of town one time, my husband, who I love him, but he's not very comfortable in the kitchen. He called me while I was on the road, and so I answered, I'm like, hello, and he's like, hey, tell me again the recipe for mayonnaise. And I could have fallen over right then and there, but I told him, and he made it and sent me a picture of it and was so excited, and I was excited for him, and now we actually swapped mayonnaise duties, so it works. So the first thing that you're gonna need for your mayonnaise is some raw egg. This is important that you're using a very fresh raw egg, and you want to wash it beforehand just in case any of the egg comes in contact with it. And we are going to use just the yolks today for the recipe. One of the great things about mayonnaise is you can adjust the recipe to your personal taste. You can use the whole egg or the yolk. If you just use the yolk, it's going to have a richer, truer mayonnaise flavor. If you add the whites and use the yolk and the white, the flavor will be lighter and milder. So that's the difference. So first I'm gonna take my egg and I'm just gonna separate it. There's really two main ways to separate an egg. So we cracked it on a flat surface, never an edge because that'll force the shell in, but you crack it on a flat surface, then using the pads of your thumb, you're going to slowly pull it apart, let the white fall down. Now you're gonna switch it back and forth, and you just want to not break the yolk. And the reason you wanna not break the yolk is because if you get any yolk in this white, you can't use it for other purposes. It won't whip up. But since I'm not gonna put any yolk in here, I could actually save this and use it to make meringues or angel food cake or something like that. So the other way that you can do it is to split it open and actually just drop the whole thing into your hands. This is a little messier, but it's also much quicker. So whatever you're in the mood for. So now I have my yolks. I don't need my whites. We are going to use a recipe that has a ratio of 2 egg yolks, 2 cups of oil, and about 2 tablespoons of acid. And we'll discuss the different variations on that. Now with mayonnaise, if you use all olive oil, it's a very strong mayonnaise, and it really has very limited potential in your kitchen. A lot of times the flavor is just too strong to really enjoy. So I prefer to use equal parts of olive oil and avocado oil. Avocado oil is a great light flavor, so it kind of balances it out. The other thing that I have found that works really, really well is to take your total oil amount and split it into thirds and do 1/3 olive oil, 1/3 coconut oil, and 1/3 sesame seed oil. And that makes a phenomenal mayonnaise also. So we're gonna take the yolks, drop them straight into our jar. We're going to put our oil in. And again, I have 1 cup of avocado oil and 1 cup of extra virgin olive oil. About the avocado oil real quick. I had discovered that in a lot of stores, the avocado oil doesn't move off the shelves as quick as maybe it should be. And so sometimes I'll bring home an avocado oil that tastes very strong and is not pleasant. If that happens to you, you need to take that back. That avocado oil is too old and it's rancid and it's not good anymore. Keep looking until you find a great supplier that has fresh avocado oil on hand for you. It has a very light flavor. It's not gross at all. The next thing we're going to add is a little bit of honey. This is completely optional. It just kind of balances out the acid. You can use honey, you can use sugar, whatever kind of sweetener you prefer. You can even use a little stevia. I'm gonna put some garlic in there. This is just garlic paste. I've just added salt to garlic and minced it really well. And then a nice hefty amount, probably about a good teaspoon and a half of mustard. You can use dry mustard powder, regular mustard, Dijon. I've even left it out when I was out. It still turns out great. And then we're going to use lemon juice. Add about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Salt first, a little bit of pepper. But what makes this recipe so great is the use of the immersion blender. So the old way of making mayonnaise is a bowl and a whisk and a really tired arm, or using a blender. But I have found that with a high power blender, sometimes you can go a little too far and a little too hot and make the olive oil develop a strong flavor that's not pleasant. So this is just perfect. I've got everything in here, and you'll notice it's layered itself. The oils have come up a bit, the egg yolks and seasoning and flavoring have fallen down. And we're gonna take our immersion blender, we're gonna drop it in, and we're gonna let it sit for just a minute so they can kind of separate back out. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it on, and I'm actually gonna leave it on the bottom for just a few seconds. Once I hear a slight change or feel a slight change in the texture, I start slowly pulling it up and moving it around at the same time. And when I do that, it creates like a whirlpool in there that causes an emulsion all the way from top to bottom, so that when I'm done, it's gonna be a nice thick mayonnaise. So, all right, here we go. So it's still on the bottom. Now I'm starting to pull it up. I'm just rolling it around as I'm coming. Check that out. How easy is that? When you put this in the fridge and let it sit, it'll actually get slightly more thick. If you're going to use this mayonnaise and use all of this mayonnaise today, you can take it and you can use it right away. If you're not going to use this mayonnaise right away and you want to give it some stability in the fridge so that it lasts a couple of weeks, then what you do is you get a little bit of probiotic powder or kombucha or water kefir or some liquid from lacto-fermented veggies, and you put about a tablespoon in there. You stir it in really, really well. And then you leave this out. And I know it's kind of freaky, but you leave this out for 7 hours. And the reason you leave it out for 7 hours, look how beautiful it's looking just by sitting here. So the reason you leave this out for 7 hours is it gives the pH a chance to kill anything that might be in here and actually create a more stable finished product. If you were to put this straight in the fridge, it would not last but a day or two. Come check me out at Real Food Real Simple. I will post the recipe there, and make your own mayonnaise and show me what you've got happening in your kitchen. Post the pictures over at School of Permaculture and Real Food Real Simple, and can't wait to cook with you next time.